Guys, so welcome back to my channel. So have you ever wondered why people stay with their abusers? Have you ever seen a woman that is suffering in her relationship or in her marriage, that is so obvious that the relationship is not helping her, but she decides to stay? Have you ever seen a woman, in fact, I think there was a story on Facebook last week. A lady brought out, shared a picture of her face. She was bruised, she was beaten, she had black eyes, her face was swelling, and it is the man that she was with, her fiancé, that gave her those bruises. And she was saying something like, we are going to work this out, nothing is going to stop us, people can be jealous and all that. And you'll be watching the video and you'll be like wondering, is something wrong with her? Like, why is she still in this kind of relationship? A relationship that is clearly not helping her, a relationship that she's clearly being abused. But she came out to the public and made so many excuses, and even blaming people that would want her to live, such relationship. Have you ever wondered why they act the way they do? So today's topic is why you can't leave your abuser. So stay with me as we go through it. For number one, abuse does not kick off as the relationship kicks off. The abusers are always nice, they are always cheerful, they are always thoughtful at the beginning of the relationship. And this will make their victims, fall in love with them, fall in love with their personalities. And then when they are now settled in the relationship, in the marriage, or whatever it is, the abuse then starts. So these victims now hold on to the memories they had, the good memories they had with their abusers. It is very, very common. You hear them saying, he was not like this. Or sometimes they even blame themselves that it is because of their attitude that is making this the abusers abuse them. It gets even worse if the abuser is a narcissist and uses gaslighting method. So the victim will now be feeling like, he was not like this when we started. He was such a sweet charmer, he was such a nice person, he was such a good person, he was very thoughtful. So maybe it's because of my attitude, maybe it's because of what I did that's making him act this way. But believe me, it is not your fault. An abuser is an abuser, and no matter what you did, it's not enough for anybody to raise his hands on you. And abuse is not constant in relationships. Abuse is never constant. These abusers will abuse you and then come back and apologize and try to make promises that they are going to change, and try to make promises that they are going to do better, and then the victim falls in again and believes that he has changed, and then he goes back to his abusive self, and then returns into begging, and then goes back, and you know what? The cycle continues, and you outside will be wondering, why is she still in that relationship? Number two reason is sense of obligation. Most abusers pass through a lot, probably mental health issues, addiction, childhood issues, probably childhood molestation or childhood abuse. So most times they share these experiences with their partner, and the partner, being the victim, will feel obligated to help, will feel obligated to change him, to try to make him better, being that you believe that it is as a result of his own issues that he's acting the way he is acting. So that's another reason, feeling obligated to change your partner, to change an abuser. He's going to change, it's because of so thing that he experienced, that is why he's acting this way. But believe me, he's not going to change. An abuser rarely changes. So no matter his issues, no matter the trauma he might have faced, no matter what he's passing through, it is not okay to abuse. You cannot fix another person. So you need to understand that it is not your obligation to fix another person. Another reason why an abuser stays is because they see love as a survival technique, to be in the relationship. Reason being, they can't just fathom, they can't imagine that somebody, I'm talking about the victims now, they can't imagine that somebody that they love or somebody that claims to love them can, hurt them in that manner. They try to see reasons, from the abuser's point of view, try to understand why he's behaving a certain way, the way he's behaving. I want you to understand this, that an abuser is an abuser. An abuser can love you, but it doesn't change the fact that he's an abuser. That means he can beat you, and in his mind, when that episode ends, he still loves you, and he will not want you to leave. If you want to leave an abuser that feels he loves you, it is almost impossible because of the way he's going to react. He doesn't want to lose you, but he cannot stop being abusive. So you need to know that this is not about love again. It is for your safety, because one day he's going to hit you. You might not survive it. There are stories out there that you need to learn from. So an abuser is an abuser, irrespective of the fact that he loves you or not. Another reason is financial dependency. That is why it's always good for you to get something doing. Have your own money, so that you will not tolerate certain things. If you have your own money and you are with an abuser, it will be easy for you to plot your escape, because you have the necessary support, you have the necessary financial support. So when you are financially dependent on somebody, it's difficult for you to leave this person, whether the person is an abuser or not, because if you leave, how are you going to, it takes strong mind of someone that is not financially capable to leave an abuser. Another reason why victims don't leave their abusers is because they're trying to protect their children. In a society like Nigeria, when you come from a single home, you're kind of stigmatized. So most parents won't want their children to pass through that, so they just try to see how they can stay, so that their children will not be stigmatized in society. So in trying to protect your children, believe me, you're harming them, because when they grow up in such violent environments, it's affecting something in their psyche. You might not know, you might feel you're trying to protect them, but you're indirectly harming them. There's no reason why you should raise children in a hostile environment. Allow your children to see your husband or your boyfriend hits you every time. They're learning something from there. You might end up raising monsters simply because you're trying to protect them from societal stigmatization. So, as a victim, don't ever use your children as an excuse to stay with your abuser. But in conclusion, no matter the reason you give yourself to stay with an abuser, it is never enough. There is no reason that can justify you as a victim to stay with your abuser. A lot of times, victims lose their life due to abuse, and it's sometimes very difficult to prove these things in court. So you just die for nothing. Your children that you're trying to protect will now, be motherless because you chose to stay with an abuser. So no matter what, I just want you to take this home. No matter the love you have for your abuser, no matter whatever reason you want to use to justify you staying with your abuser, it is not enough. Leave while you can. Plot your escape. You cannot fix another person. An abuser has to, recognize his fault and try to work on himself. You're not obligated to fix another person. So thank you guys for watching my video. I hope you learned a thing or two from this. I'll see you next time. Have a great day and bye.